It really just depends. Sometimes it's just intentionally sitting down, thinking about like, hey, like, I want to like write a song right now. And then you just kind of see what happens,
Welcome to the Showcast, a show about music, culture, and Memphis.
As we live into our mission of building community through music,
education,
and diversity,
we look forward to interviewing artists, musicians, movers, and shakers about how they're writing their own stories
and building their own communities.
For almost 90 years, the show has stood the test of time as a beacon of hope
in the heart of Memphis.
This podcast is brought to you by Orion Federal Credit Union, where a big part of us is being a big part of the community. Visit OrionFCU.com to see how Orion is redefining banking.
Very proud today to welcome a long-standing member of the Memphis music community and somebody I'm proud to call my friend. Today we have Jeff Hulett. Jeff, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Silver.
Of course, like many people, I know you from Snowglobe, but you've got some brand new music out that's very exciting. Talk to me about it.
Sure. Yeah. Early on in the pandemic, I just really doubled down on learning how to use GarageBand and other recording gear and started fleshing out songs that had been kind of in my head. And since the start of kind of March 2020, I've put out around 8 albums. Some are like 10 songs.
Grief.
Some are like 6 songs. Some are collaborations with other friends. My most recent is a 10-song album called Note to Self that I'm really proud of. It's out on Small Batch Recordings on Bandcamp. And then, of course, it's streaming on all the places where people stream music. But I collaborate with a lot of different people. And I think that's one of the unintended positive consequences of the pandemic, just people kind of working together that might not otherwise work together. So that's been fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm hearing from the new music. First of all, loving it to pieces.
Thank you.
Second of all, a very different direction from Snowglobe. What prompted that for you?
I think it's probably my influences. Of course, I love Snowglobe and our kind of style and that kind of chamber pop. And, of course, Snowglobe is very influenced by the Beach Boys and, Elephant Six and Neutral Milk Hotel. But my personal influences are a little bit more singer-songwriter. I really love this guy, Chris Staples. I love, Built to Spill. I love just, of course, Bob Dylan. Neil Young, the Kinks, that sort of stuff, the Beatles, of course, duh. So I think it's just different influences, and I love crafting, stories. And I don't know if any of them make sense, but they do to me.
Well, now, how does your creative process evolve when you're making music, and especially with the pandemic and everything? Music first, then lyrics. How do you build these great songs that you're putting out, and so many of them?
Yeah, great question. It depends, really. I mean, I think a lot of musicians that you talk to will tell you about how they use voice memos on their phone. I'll be taking a walk with the dog or playing with the girls out in the yard, and then all of a sudden, like a melody will come in my head, and I'll kind of just launch a voice memo on my phone and kind of like leave it for another time. I'll come revisit it. Sometimes it's just picking up the guitar and I'll get like a little groove going and then I'll record that just so I don't forget. It really just depends. Sometimes it's just intentionally sitting down, thinking about like, hey, like, I want to like write a song right now. And then you just kind of see what happens,
Nice.
And sometimes it's a complete disaster. But sometimes it's, that's Chalupa right now. Let me let her in. Hang on one second.
Sure.
Come on to the file. But the process just evolves and changes. And sometimes it's just takes a lot of time.
Right.
Finished a song a couple albums ago that I had been ruminating on for probably like 10 years. And
wow.
And I finally just was like, holy cow, like this is it. This is the piece. It's a song called, what is the name of that song? Of course, I've forgotten it now because I'm always moving so fast. Yeah, like I'm always moving on to the next thing and sharing stuff with other folks. But yeah, I'm going to pull up this song because I want you to know the name of it. A couple albums ago. Yeah,
Well, I mean, once you put out 8 or 10 albums in a couple of years, I can understand where there might be some confusion there.
I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I do work really fast. I like to work fast. I like to throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks. Yeah, the song is Standing on Your Own. I released it in earlier in the summer, 6-song little EP, and a song called There's a Place. It's like a really long song, but I really like it, and I hope people will listen to it because it's something I worked on forever. But then there's songs like, off the new album that I wrote in one day and recorded in 1 week and like mastered and finished in like, a month and then put it out on the album. So you just never
incredible.
Have.
That is just incredible. Seriously. Who did you work with on the most recent stuff you've released?
A lot of the usual suspects that I've been partnering with throughout the last couple of years, but Jacob Church is a friend and a great musician. He plays in a lot of different bands, but he's got a great ear, so he kind of mixes and masters a lot of stuff. He plays a lot, sings harmony, does guitar. Lee Salmons is a friend, and he's doing most of the drums and percussion. However, I do slip in there and play some drums and percussion throughout because that's where I got my start.
Sure.
My buddy Chris Weary, who's in New York, my friend Adam Poor, who's in Denver, my friend Melissa, who's out in Burbank, California. I mean, my friend Ben Crum, who's in upstate New York. So it's a lot of different people, and maybe, it's just somebody like Chris Milam who just sang a harmony on one of the songs for this last one. I like just getting people involved and seeing what can happen. And, you never know unless you try.
Well, and I think that probably contributes quite a bit to the fact that you do have such variety in what you're presenting. You're impossible to pigeonhole is what it comes down to. But I think that's a great strength in your music and your writing.
Well, I appreciate that. And I'd be remiss if I didn't share, too, that this young woman who's out in California now, who was a graduate from Stax Academy, Kennedy Ray, you can find her singing on some of my tracks. And she's just got this huge, just booming sort of gospel-esque powerhouse voice. She sings on Let Go of the Letdown on the latest record. And I wish I could put out these things physically, but I guess the streaming stuff is kind of a blessing and a curse, right? We all have such a huge library. But that's why, too, I'm trying to play more live, Silver, because, I mean, there's just nothing like it. It's fun to, like, work up these songs. And I do have now a live band roster set up and some great shows coming up, this fall and into the winter.
So when you're playing live, are you going to be concentrating more on your brand new release? You're going to go deep catalog? What can people expect to see?
I think a little bit of everything. With the band, we've been doing this song years ago during Snowglobe's kind of heyday. I was also in this band of mine, my first band where I stepped out with the guitar and started singing. It was called Jeffrey James and the Hall. And one of the first songs I wrote is this song called Come On Down. And we've kind of reimagined it in this new outfit. And it couldn't sound like I want to re-record it because it just sounds so different and so fresh and so like interesting. So we're doing some old stuff. We're doing some new stuff. We're even doing stuff that's not even released.
Wow.
Because I like to have like the band feel that kind of sense of ownership of like, hey, I'm a part of this. Like these are my parts, and like I co-wrote this song.
I'd also imagine, I mean, new material like that, what a great way to flesh out some new material, but put it in front of a live audience.
Oh, yeah. We played this private party last month, like a benefit for Music Export Memphis, which, does the tambourine.
Great people.
They're awesome. And it was just this backyard party. And I don't know. It had that kind of feeling of like, holy cow, like these people are into this. They're up dancing, they're mixing it up, it scratched a itch that hadn't been scratched in a long time. So
That's really, really cool. I know having live music come off the stage at the Shell again, nothing has thrilled me more in the past couple of years than feeling like it's starting to get back to normal.
oh yeah, and y'all do such a wonderful job there, and so it's a wonderful, wonderful asset to the city and the diversity of programming. And I do have to say, Silver, one of these days, hopefully I'll get to bring the band up there, and hopefully we'll bring Snowglobe back as well.
Want to learn more about how you can support the Overton Park Shell and its mission of building community through music, education, and diversity? Head to overtonparkshell.org. You can read up on our history, check out our schedule of events, visit our Shell shop to grab all the swag, and find out ways that you can participate in our mission, whether that's through donations, volunteering, sponsoring a concert, or becoming a member of the Shell Circle. Once again, that's overtonparkshell.org.
With so much different stuff that you're doing, is it even possible to project what you're going to do next?
Oh man, that's a great question. I have lined up the calendar for the rest of the year musically, which I've kind of never done before, which I'm kind of excited about. Like I've got a really good show this month and then in November and then in December. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of working on the next batch of songs that will probably make up the next album. I've talked to, Brandon Kinder at the Shell, who does his own project about doing some kind of split release,
That'll be awesome.
I like the idea of just doing different things and trying different things. And, there's some compilations coming up that I'll contribute songs to. So
good.
Yeah, who knows, Silver? I'm just rolling with the punches.
And that so works. That obviously begs the question. Now, a lot of people do know you from Snowglobe. That was my first experience with you. Seen you play with the band a couple of times, several times at the Shell. Is that a past project now, or does Snowglobe still exist?
Yeah, Snowglobe is still going. I don't know if you could say it's going strong. I would say that it's kind of just in a different place. I mean, we've been around for 20 years and we've done, we've released a lot of music. We played a lot of shows. We're all, friends and we all care for each other, but we're all in just different places. Tim lives outside of Austin and Buda, and he's running his own kind of publishing label. He tours with Spiral Stairs, who's also in Pavement. And so he's real busy, and it's hard to pin him down. Luke White, amazing artist, musician. He's kind of in a bunch of projects. I've got a lot going on. Brandon, who's a bass player, Brad Postlethwaite's a doctor, so he's opening up practice. Right. So the good news about Snowglobe is that there's always something either in the works or about to be released. There's so much music, and we have a full length and an EP that are basically ready to drop at any moment. And we've been grateful to release some of our back catalog thanks to Black and Wyatt Records and our second album, Doing the Distance, which me personally, I feel like that's our best record. That was when we were at the height of our powers. That was when we were the most collaborative. We toured the most. We were tight. Doing the Distance, available at Shangri-La, Garner Records, was put out, re-released on vinyl on Black and Wyatt Records. And then, of course, our first record, Our Land Brains, is available now on vinyl. And slowly but surely, we'll try to release every piece of music on vinyl, because vinyl just, to me, it's just, I love holding it. I love whole album, flipping the side, and it's a piece of art. It's like a book.
It is. And as a graphic designer myself, or having some experience with it, I miss the graphics of the 12 by 12 format,
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that was so much a big part of so many records for my growing up experience. And you could always tell so much about a new album, like you say, just by holding it, looking at it, and then go to play it.
Yeah, I was just in Denver, and I popped into this record store to see what I could find, and I found two records that I've been looking for. I found Standing on the Beach by The Cure, which is an amazing record, and like you said, the art on it is incredible. And then I found Fleetwood Mac Tusk, which is just incredible, and the art on that is just, you can kind of get lost in it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Tell me about growing up, what it was about music that caught you, what the aha moment was where you said, I can do this.
So I'm not originally from here. I moved here in 1990 from Illinois. And around that time, I played trumpet in the band and hated it. I was horrible. And I thought like that was the end of my music career. And then in high school here in Memphis, a friend of mine invited me to the Antenna Club to see his band play. And my friend Davis was playing drums. And that was it for me. I went home. I was like, Dad, Mom, I want a drum kit for Christmas. Started playing music, was immediately in a band, like straight out the bat, just off, right away. Wow. And then I was in 2 bands, and then you're at 10 bands. And then, over time you just get better. And then slowly but surely I enjoyed songwriting and music and what that process looked like. So some friends, including some of the Snowglobe guys, taught me some chords. And yeah, now I play guitar more than anything, acoustic guitar.
I mean, you're basically just one of those guys that simply doesn't stop.
Yeah, it's kind of a nightmare for
not for your fans.
My wife is like, you need to settle down. No, it's all good. I mean, I do have a lot of energy and I like to be active. And I'm definitely one of those guys that doesn't sit on things. I'm just like, okay, and let's do it.
That's awesome. You've got a lot going on outside of your music career as well.
No, I do. Thanks for asking. Yeah, we met probably when I worked over at Church Health too, doing Rock for Love.
Right. Yeah, you've done a lot of public service work in your time, and I believe you have a PR firm now.
I do, yeah. Jeff Hulett PR just celebrated 5 years, and when I say we, it's really just me. And I work with some tremendous nonprofit clients in the community doing awesome work. I think it was probably from my 9 years at Church Health that kind of made me want to be in Memphis, pushing everything that's good about Memphis. We've been through a lot as a city in the past month or so, and
sure have.
It's been hard. But, I love this town and I love this city, and I know that a lot of other people do. And there's so much positive stuff that we can celebrate. And of course, we still have a ton of work to do as a city. But yeah, I love pushing anything that's in Memphis, about Memphis, for Memphis, pushing Memphis forward.
So much of your work, I mean, I knew you with Church Health. I know some of the work you've done with the Shell. Your PR firm works with lots of nonprofits. Your sense of community involvement is so strong. Where did that come from?
I've always just been an extrovert, kind of just ever since I was a kid. Never met a stranger. My parents kind of talk about me as a kid. They'd take me out to dinner, me and my brother, and before the dinner was over, I'd be sitting in the laps of the people that are dining next to us, just like, like talking to them. And, yeah, I mean, I kind of meet everybody like they're a friend, and I think I like to listen and hear where people are coming from, and I love to collaborate. I'm just kind of just a people person, I mean, I at the grocery store, at the gas station, like I'm to some people, probably including my wife, who's like a real kind of introvert, like that stuff wears her out, but it gives me energy.
I could fully understand. Know a little bit about your past, know a little bit about the present. Tell me some of your hopes and dreams for the future.
Wow. More shows, lots of more shows, full band shows for sure. A big goal, a dream would be playing the Overton Park Shell with the band at some point. More collaborations, more Snowglobe shows. Yeah, I just want to be, and I think we're getting to that point, Silver, with the pandemic being more and more in our rear view. Yeah, just more shows. Like I'm playing DKDC on October 14th with Graham Winchester, like a singer-songwriter deal. I'm playing November 12th with Eve Barzilay from Clem Snide at Hernando's Hideaway, and then big show December 1st at the Green Room, Crosstown Arts, opening up for Star and Micey. So, those are things I'm really looking forward to, and then going into the new year strong with more shows. And I just want the phone to keep ringing and for people to want me to play music.
Well, I could tell you from a fan's point of view, that's all really, really good news. If people want to keep up with so much of what you're doing, give me some contact info and then places where people can look for you.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. My handle on Instagram is kind of funny. It's Dad on Arrival. So it's DAD_on Arrival. And then Facebook, of course, Jeff Hulett or Jeff Hulett Music. Snowglobe is on Instagram and Facebook as well. Twitter is just Jeff Hulett. You can find me on there. And then I'm trying to go old school, Silver, and create some kind of mailing list. So if anyone wants to join the mailing list, just shoot me an email at jeffhulettmusic@gmail.com. I promise not to blow up your inbox, but I will give you a bi-weekly, like, hey, like these shows are coming up.
That's awesome. How about the PR firm?
PR firm is jeffhulettpr.com. Reach out if you have any initiatives, programs you want to push out into the community, and I'd be glad to help.
Well, Jeff, again, thank you for taking the time. As expected, it's been a delight to talk to you, and I can't wait to see you both in person and on stage again.
Thanks so much, Silver. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Take care now.
Take care.